Bonjour, it's Fernando and Mr. Carrot, and we're gonna do some math. Okay, so we're given this differentiable equation, right? So A is asking you to sketch on the slope field the given equation on the 12 points. So pretty much, just to get the slope, you need to plug in the given coordinates into the differentiable equation to get the slope, which is, what you're going to graph. So, since we already did that, we're just going to draw them. So, starting at 1, 1, we look, the slope is -2. So, the slope would go, it's not that way because that would be positive. It goes this way, and it has to be more slanted. Yeah, slanted. So, like that. So for 1, 2, it's -1. So it's still going this way, but it's not, a slanted, because it's -1. So for 0, 1, let's look. It's 0. Actually, all of these are 0. So it's a horizontal line. At -1, 1, which is over here, the slope is 2. So it's like that. -1, 2, the slope is 1. So for 1, -1, which is right here, the slope is 2. So it'd be more slanted than 1, like that. At 1, -2, it's 1. So that. So for -1, it's -2. So like that. And then for a -1, -2, -1. So it's like that. Now it looks nice. So that's probably, so you probably did it correctly, because it's usually like a shape. So we have A done. Alright, so for problem B, so what we're given is, we're still using the same differentiable equation, except now we're given it at this point. So we need to write an equation for the line tangent to the graph of f at 1, -1, and use it to approximate 1.1. So let's write what we're given. We know that the point is 1, -1, right? And when it means writing an equation, we're going to use this. So y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x sub 1. So we know what y sub 1 and x sub 1 are, but what we don't know is what m is. So if you were paying attention earlier, you know that m is it just stands for the slope, and you just find the slope by plugging in these two values into this equation. So 2 and then -1, or just 1, over -1 equals 2. So that's the slope. So if we plug it all in, y minus -1 is equal to 2x minus 1. Y plus 1 is equal to 2x minus 2. So y is equal to 2x minus 3. This is the equation that's tangent to the graph. But that's not what this problem is asking for. It's asking you to use this equation to approximate it at f is equal to 1.1. So you plug it in to x, which will give you 0.8, and this would be your final answer. Okay, so for C, it's saying to find the particular solution when it's at this initial condition. So it's -2x times y is equal to dy dx. So what you have to do is you want to get all the terms that correspond to this, each one on one side. So you want to get the dx with the 2x and the y with the dy. So you multiply dx to both sides, cancels out, dy is equal to negative 2x over y times dx. Now you want to get y to this side, so you multiply y to both sides. This cancels out, so it would be y dy is equal to negative 2x dx. So at this point, you want to get just y, so you have to integrate. So, integral of y dy is equal to the integral of negative 2x dx. This would just be 1/2 y squared is equal to negative x squared. Don't forget the plus c. It's really important. So now, since you were given these values earlier, you need to solve for c. So over here, 1/2 y squared is equal to negative x squared plus c. You plug in these values, which is just 1, negative 1. So 1/2 negative 1 squared is equal to negative 1 plus c. So it'd be 1/2 is equal to negative 1 plus c. You add 1 to both sides, so c would be equal to 3 over 2. So now that you have the value for c, you can plug it back into the original equation, which you solved for over here. 1/2 y squared is equal to negative x squared plus 3 over 2. So an easy way to just simplify this so you don't have to, or you just multiply 2 to everything, so you can get rid of this 1/2. So 2, multiply everything, or it's better to do it this way. So then that leaves you with y squared is equal to negative 2x squared plus 3. Now, since you just wanted to be y, you have to take the square root of everything, which leaves you with y is equal to plus or minus negative 2x squared plus 3. Now, this is not the final answer, because you need to look back and see, because how do we know that it's plus or minus? So that's why you look back at the initial condition. This value is given to be negative, so you would use the negative value for f of x. So this would be the final answer.